Okay, well, hello everybody. Thanks for watching this. It's been a while since I've done a recording. I'm still in Canada at my property in the little town of Salmo, BC, and I had great intentions of doing all kinds of videos while I'm here because I've got such wonderful materials and things to work with, but I ran into technical problems with my laptop that I brought with me. It overheated and I had to stop using it. And then I ordered another laptop from Amazon, but they sent me the wrong one. And so I've been trying to make videos on it, and it became impossible because it doesn't have the right graphics cards that I need. And then I got fed up with Windows, so I switched my system over to Linux, and I'm just learning how to use it. And I do think I like it better. It's very clean and it just does what it needs to do without a lot of extra stuff in it. But everything is a learning curve, and I'm working on this stuff. So I'm shooting a little video today about, I did promise to make null binding socks. I started with this pair in April for myself because it was very cold here when I came. It wasn't the warm spring that we normally have. This global warming thing that's happening is actually very cold a lot of the time, strangely enough. So I started to make a pair of socks for myself, and then I didn't quite finish the toes because the weather warmed up, but I can finish those later. But they did get me through some of the cold days. And then I started to make another pair for my son, and people have been writing to me and asking me that they want to make null binding socks, so would I please show how I'm doing this. So this is a beginning attempt at starting this project. I was going to do it live, but I have to wait for YouTube to give me permissions to go live again because I haven't been doing it for some time. So that'll be a couple of days before, and I hope that my hardware will be able to handle it, but I'll see what I can do. So to make my son a pair of socks, I used a very rudimentary method of measuring with a piece of string, which is probably the way things were done way back when. And I'm starting this pair of socks from the top down. So I measured this part to fit my leg, the top part of my calf, and then I'm only made a short pair of socks. And then so I work all of this, and then I add a chain here, and then I work this part, and then afterwards I stitch in the heel, and then afterwards I will do the toe. So to measure his, I just took a string and wrapped it around his ankle at the height that he wanted the socks to be, and it came out to that. And I just started to make a chain that is that size. So, yeah, like that. And then as I was making this sock at a pub that I like to go to here, somebody came up to me and said that, oh, his grandmother used to make him socks like this with the null binding, and she always made them a perfect length, because she said the other trick to do is to measure your fist. So if you put that there, you measure your fist around, that length there is the same length as your foot. So you always take a measure of that for the length of the sock, and around the ankle for the ankle part of the string. And I think that so I haven't tested it out on my son yet about how long to make it, but I thought that's a very cool trick to make, and things that are so simple, that using simple tools, no tape measures, no measuring anything, just a piece of string and a knot, and away you go. So I have been some of my videos that I did do while I'm here is spinning on my old Quebec production wheel, and I was working with hand spun, and I spun a couple of balls with it, and then I dyed it with some lichen, with Parmelia lichen dyes, and I will be doing some more of that in the next week or two. And I'm also writing some interesting things about lichen, and I will be posting those to my website because I have been learning a lot about the uses of lichen and how it's been used in medicines and stuff for centuries. And So that is to come, and stay tuned for that. And so first of all, to start making it as you start with a chain. And I just make a simple knot like that. Well, actually, I'll pull off a length first. Take that out. I break off a length about 4 arm lengths. Break that off. Make a loop there on my thumb. And I do an accordion fold to reduce the length of what I have to pull of the yarn through. Today I'm using a reindeer antler needle that someone made for me in Finland. I can add links to where I got it from. It was from somebody who makes them on Etsy. Beautiful. It's a beautiful needle. Okay, so I have the needle threaded, and I put another couple of wraps on my thumb, and I pull. I'm going to do 3. Pick up one, pick up a loop back here from the other half of the loop that I made, bring it through, and pull this through. And those loops fell off my thumb, so I will put something back on. I don't worry about the start of it, because after about half a dozen stitches it does start to form. I just want to get some loops going. That one, that loop back there. I'll pull this through. I made that accordion fold a bit too short, so I ran out of space already. Put that back on the needle. Because I'm using really lumpy hand spun, it's a bit stickier to work with than I want to use smoother stuff. But this was very rough wool that I spun. I just make a very long chain, and I don't even look at it for several stitches, because it's not going to look proper, and it doesn't really matter. You just want to get the chain going, and you can always get rid of the stuff at the end that doesn't look very good. You can unpick it. Just pick up a loop, pick up a loop from back there, turn the needle, and bring it through. It usually takes at least 10 stitches before the chain starts to look like anything, because everything is so interconnected in the loops that until you get several, it looks like nothing. And you think you've made a mistake, and then you unpick it, and really, if you just keep going, it starts to work. See, it's sort of starting to look like a chain, but don't look at it. Just put it away, and you see that there's a loop you can pick up, turn the needle, and pull it through. Yeah, my spinning is a bit lumpy, so it gets stuck as I'm pulling it through there. But that's okay. It will be a sock that has some texture to it. So taking a look at it, it's starting to look like a fairly decent chain that I'm making. Some things are loopy and some bits are not because of the thickness of the thread, but that will work out if I go back to check my length. Okay, there. See, the first 5 or 10 stitches that you make don't really form properly, but after that it starts to come together. So I'm going to keep doing this until it's that long. I've started to sell my null binding needles on eBay again. I shut things down because I was coming here to Canada, but I'll be back in the UK in about 2 weeks, so you'll be able to order some needles through there. I sell the black water buffalo and some wooden ones, and I don't have the little skinny ones with me. I just have the thicker ones, and these ones, and then these ones. This one I got in Finland, and then this is also have the carved water buffalo bone needles. So they will be on my eBay website, and I'll add a link to that, and you can order. I was only shipping to the UK, but I think I can figure out shipping to US and Canada now. When I get back, I'll try and set that up as well. I used to sell a lot of stuff on Etsy, but Etsy's changed their policies, and I really don't quite agree with what they're doing, and it's being run by bots, so there aren't any people you can talk to. So I tend to stay away from Etsy these days. Sad, it was great when it worked, but it's not working properly now, so that's just Etsy's loss, I guess. A little bit more and it should be long enough. So okay, I'm going to stop here for a minute, and it's time to add more yarn to it. I don't want this video to be too long because I want to be able to post it and not take forever rendering, since I don't have proper equipment set up here. So back in a bit in the next video.